Hook, 64% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency. But the fix is a 3-number rule you can set in 10 minutes. Hook_END. Act 1, set up the problem. Here's a number that should terrify you. According to the Federal Reserve's 2023 survey of household economics, nearly 2/3 of American adults don't have enough cash on hand to handle a $1,000 emergency. That's not a luxury problem, that's a car repair, a medical bill, a broken water heater away from financial collapse. And yet, the average American spends more on coffee, takeout, and subscription services than they realize. The problem isn't that people earn too little, it's that the money flows out of their accounts like water through a sieve, and nobody's watching. But here's the twist: the solution isn't a PhD in finance or a complicated spreadsheet with 50 categories. It's a rule so simple that a senator's daughter came up with it over dinner. Pattern_interrupt. The 50/30/20 rule was popularized by Elizabeth Warren, yes, that Elizabeth Warren, and her daughter Amelia Warren Tyagi in their 2005 book All You're Worth. The idea was radical. Instead of tracking every penny, just split your after-tax income into 3 buckets. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings and debt repayment. That's it. No more. No less. But here's the catch, and this is where most people fail: the rule only works if you understand what actually counts as a need. And that's where the whole system breaks down for millions of people. Cliffhanger. Most YouTube gurus will tell you the rule is a magic bullet. But here's the controversial truth: the 50/30/20 rule is actually a diagnostic tool, not a prescription. Most people treat it as a rigid prison and then quit when they can't fit their life into it. The real power comes from using it as a mirror. Let me show you why. Act 2, Mechanism, how it really works. Let's start with the numbers. Imagine you take home $4,000 a month after taxes. That's roughly the median household income in the US after tax, according to Census Bureau data. Under the 50/30/20 rule, you'd allocate $2,000 to needs, $1,200 to wants, and $800 to savings. Sounds simple, right? But the devil is in the definitions. Warren defined needs as the absolute essentials: housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, minimum debt payments, and basic insurance. These are the things you literally cannot skip without serious consequences. Pattern_interrupt. But here's where it gets tricky: a $1,500 apartment is a need if that's the cheapest safe option in your area. A $3,000 apartment is a want even if you need the space. The rule forces you to confront a painful truth: most of what we call needs are actually upgraded wants. And that's just the 50% bucket. The 30% wants category is where the real psychology kicks in, and where the rule either saves you or it doesn't. Research from the Journal of Consumer Research shows that people who separate their spending into mental accounts are more satisfied with their purchases. The 30% wants category gives you permission to spend on things you enjoy without guilt. Cliffhanger. Netflix, dining out, hobbies, travel, new clothes. The key insight? You can spend up to $1,200 a month on fun and still be financially healthy, as long as you stay within that bucket. But here's what most YouTube gurus won't tell you: the 20% savings bucket includes debt repayment beyond minimums. That's critical. If you have credit card debt at 22% interest, paying that down is effectively a guaranteed 22% return on your money, far better than any stock market investment. Warren's rule treats debt as a negative investment. Smart. Act 3, the deep dive, where the rule breaks and how to fix it. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: the 50% needs cap. In many high-cost cities like San Francisco, New York, or Los Angeles, median rent alone can eat 50% of your income before you buy a single banana. According to Zillow data, the typical renter in San Francisco spends 48% of their income on rent. Add utilities, groceries, and transportation, and you're easily at 70%. The rule seems impossible. But here's the counterintuitive truth: the rule isn't a test you pass or fail. It's a target. If you're spending 70% on needs, the rule tells you exactly where you're overextended, and that's valuable information. Pattern_interrupt. It forces you to ask, can I move to a cheaper area? Get a roommate? Take on a side hustle? The rule doesn't solve your problems. It shows you where they are. Let me give you a real-world example. Meet Sarah, a composite character based on real U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data. She earns $3,800 a month after tax. Her needs, $2,400, 63%. Wants, $1,000, 26%. Savings, $400, 11%. She's broke, stressed, and one flat tire away from disaster. The rule says she needs to cut $500 from needs. She looks at her spending: $1,800 rent, $400 car payment, $300 groceries, $200 utilities, $200 minimum credit card payments. The car is the biggest flexibility. She sells it, takes the bus, saves $250 a month. She finds a cheaper internet plan, saves $50. She eats out less, saves $100 from wants. Suddenly her needs drop to $2,150, 56%, and her savings jump to $550, 14%. Not perfect, but progress. Cliffhanger. But here's the controversial part: the rule has a hidden flaw that almost nobody talks about. It assumes all needs are created equal. But what if your need is a medical condition that requires expensive treatment? Or what if you're caring for an elderly parent? The rule doesn't account for life's curveballs. And that's why I'm going to tell you something that might sound crazy. Sometimes, the best way to follow the 50/30/20 rule is to break it. Act 4, the takeaway: what you should actually do. Here's the original take that separates this video from every other 50/30/20 video on YouTube. The rule is not about the numbers. It's about the psychological framework. The real power of the 50/30/20 rule is that it forces you to make a conscious decision about every dollar. When you categorize something as a need, you're making a value judgment. When you categorize something as a want, you're giving yourself permission to enjoy it without guilt. And when you categorize something as savings, you're investing in your future self. The numbers are just a starting point. Pattern_interrupt. Here's what I want you to do tonight. Open your bank account. Calculate your after-tax income from the last 3 months. Add up your needs: housing, utilities, groceries, minimum debt payments, transportation, insurance. Divide by your income. If that number is above 50%, you have a problem, but now you know exactly where. Next, calculate your wants. If it's below 30%, you're probably underspending on happiness, which sounds weird, but research from the University of Cambridge shows that underspending on experiences can lead to burnout and lower lifetime earnings. Finally, calculate your savings and debt payoff rate. If it's below 20%, you're not building a future. Cliffhanger. But here's the shocker: according to a 2023 study by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, households that follow a rules-based budget, any rules-based budget, have 40% higher net worth after 10 years than those who don't budget at all. The specific numbers don't matter as much as the act of having a system. The 50/30/20 rule isn't magic. It's a mirror. It reflects your priorities back at you, and if you don't like what you see, you have the power to change it. The only budget you'll ever need is the one you actually follow. Here's my prediction: in the next decade, as AI-powered banking apps get smarter, the 50/30/20 rule will evolve into dynamic, personalized buckets, but the core principle will remain. Because the human brain needs guardrails, not spreadsheets. And that's why this simple rule, born at a dinner table in 2005, will still be relevant 100 years from now. The numbers might change, but the psychology never will. Now here's your challenge: tonight, take 10 minutes to run the numbers. Comment below with your biggest struggle. Is it the 50% needs cap? The 30% wants guilt? Or the 20% savings discipline? I read every comment and I'll be making a follow-up video addressing the most common problems. And if this video changed the way you think about money, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm to show this to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe for next week's deep dive on the FIRE movement, where we'll show you how to accelerate from 20% savings to 50% or more. Thanks for watching.